Bust it.
Hello out there, thanks for joining us on Political Platform. We are on Ray Power FM network in Nigeria, and anywhere you have your hands on the button to touch the app. That is, if you download the Ray Power app, you can listen anywhere in the world. And we're also on AIT Abuja by 6 p.m., as well as our growing followers on our YouTube channel, where you can really indeed subscribe and you get informed once it is posted by our colleagues on the YouTube. So it is one that we celebrate democracy and talk about the issues regarding the development of Nigeria, politically that is, and we harvest from you through Political Platform at yahoo.com your views and your opinion on how we can do things right and correctly, and how we can borrow from the outside world to grow our democracy. But the most important is the analysis that we also do. We try to distance ourselves from all the issues and give you just the way they are, and attempt to profile solutions to some of the myriad of problems that are on the road to speedy development in our political life. My name is Okiri Agbonsuremi, and this day we have a lot of things to talk about. We are still having a lot of issues regarding the killings, the Benue killings, and it reverberated in the National Assembly yesterday as the two chambers of the National Assembly in Nigeria are resumed from the New Year and the Christmas and the New Year holidays. Of course, the focus is on 2019, the elections that are going on. A lot of power play, a lot of meetings are being held in the night over who is going to contest in all the camps. The president's camp, a lot of activities are going on, meetings are going on, and the strategic plans are on with those who are in the saddle with the responsibility, who are saddled with the responsibility of organizing for the president to get re-elected. In the PDP, a lot of meetings are also on. All of them, both the PDP and the APC, are trying to avoid the internal crisis that could give problems to them. But we are also interested in what is going on Political Platform, and that's why we are urging you to go and get your voter card. It is not too late now for you to go and get your voter card. The time will come, it will be too late. That is when you have a few days to the elections and the doors are closed. You cannot go and be asking the Independent National Electoral Commission to give you a voter card. It is also time for people to get involved. It is a time for everyone to get involved. I'm also interested in what is happening on the social media. They are not just politicians now who are interested. We are having social and activists, human rights campaigners, lawyers. All of them are getting involved. It doesn't matter which group you belong to. If you want to join APC, go and join APC. Join PDP, get involved. The pastors and the imams should ask the congregation about their voters card. Let everyone be actively involved. If we are not involved, the meaning is that we are allowing those who should not be involved to take charge of our lives. Dr. Amit Shanakwe is with me on the program.
Thank you. Here some Nigerians have written to us, of course, raising some suggestions some other people are also talking about, asking INEC to make it possible for voters to vote in any part of the country, wherever they find themselves. But of course, there are some limitations here. Ordinarily, if you're registered in any ward or polling station, that is where you vote. But they said because we are always on the move and they need to increase the number of voter turnout during the election, they will have to make it be like your ATM card where you can use it in every part of the country. But I tell you, if it is a governorship election, then your location is very significant. If it is a House of Assembly election, you must also be in that location. So these are some of the problems that we need to take care of. But of course, the main thing is for us to use electronic voting system. It's only an electronic voting system that will allow that, such that your voter card can be recognized anywhere. Despite some shortcomings. But the recommendation of the Senate yesterday, or the resolution that the Inspector General of Police should, within 14 days, I think, produce, arrest and prosecute those behind the killings, especially in Benue. And I ask myself, what happens after 14 days? If, of course, the IGP fails to do that, what will be the next course of action?
Are you in doubt? Are you in doubt whether he will fail?
Well,
because we have how many days ago now? Is there anything being done?
My concern is that that if you put pressure like that, knowing how Nigeria works, some people could be
just rounded up and
paraded, and of course, newsmen, batteries of cameras will flash, and that will be in the end of it all. But beyond that, do they have the right to discipline the IG of police? It's like an ultimatum to him. Do this within 14 days. After 14 days, if it doesn't happen, what next? Do they have the right to do it, or they want to be seen to be involved in part of the resolution of the crisis? But there was one takeaway from the report that was submitted by the committee that people appear to be glossing over. The Senate report says there are sponsors of the killers. They are known. The sponsors are known. The killers are known. Maybe it was on that principle that they asked the IG whom they expect.
So they must have provided the IG the names and the identities of those people.
If the Senate committee is able to unearth the fact that there are those sponsoring these killers and the identities are known, what stops the security agencies from doing this and taking action in the first place?
I don't even believe that. Amechi, sincerely speaking, I don't believe the IG and those in the security apparatus, those who are at the head of security network in Nigeria, don't know those who are perpetuating all their sponsors. I don't know, because statements were issued before this event happened. We also know public officers who have tacitly supported the idea of an eye for an eye in these incidents that have happened in the past. The governor of Kaduna State is one of them, who tweeted long ago, and he has not retracted that tweet, that if you kill a Fulani man, that you are owing a debt that you must pay. All those three tweets are there. There are a lot of other pronouncements people have made. Nobody says you should kill a Fulani man. It is illegal. It is not good for you to follow up with a Fulani man aggressively and violently to terminate their lives. It is not one that anybody who is at the position of leadership should come up and begin to say, look, we have the capacity to respond to anything. If it happens, we are going to do this. Nobody has called the governor of Kaduna State to order. I don't think the president has even called him to say, look, this is your tweet. Is it true that did somebody hack into your Twitter account? What do you mean? Nobody. Everything just goes on. We just go on the way it should.
Wait for the next
thing. Then the Mieti Allah issued a statement and said the law that was promulgated in Benue State is not in agreement with them. They don't like it. I don't know why some group of people will say they don't like a particular law, so they don't believe it is workable. Now, if you don't like a particular law, which you have a right to do, you can have a right not to like a law. All you need to do is to go to court and challenge that law. Challenge it, file a suit in court to say this law was made to be broken because it cannot be obeyed. I have seen it. We saw it in the UK, where the Globe then those days went out against a law that was pronounced by the House, and they said, look, it is not possible for us to obey this law because you cannot say we should not publish this thing. We publish it because we want to tell you that interest. Yes, it's a public interest. Go to court. They went to court and got the things out. Now, what we need to do is to act under the purview of the law. If you don't like a particular law, go to court and say it is not workable. Explain to the court, and the court will say it infringes on the rights of a certain class of people. But when you see a people that take up against the law, no queries, no questions. It just happened and they will just gloss over it. Nigeria is one day, one trouble. We forget yesterday's own, we celebrate today's own. All of us cry, we weep, and we go back. We are dining, eating, and making babies in spite of all the crisis that is on. And that is where the National Assembly hypocrisy will be seen. They will come and set up committees, run around, and all of them make glowing speech. That is the end of the whole day. Nothing concrete. Nothing concrete. You talk about those who are writing to us are telling us, let us do something to make sure that we use a single identity to vote, so that we do not have to be running from one place to the other. Amechi, is it today that we should be talking about that? Why did we not talk about it immediately after the 2015 elections? We have 4 years to amend the laws. We have 4 years to take care. As we speak now, the electoral acts are still being under they are still under the amendment of the National Assembly process. We have the Constitution not amended, and it is such that we just wait. We have developed a culture in Nigeria of just waiting till the next time, and that is why we are here, and we are going to be here continuously here until we make up our mind to move.
And I believe a majority of Nigerians are positive about that movement, and it will be a movement that will take us to where we are supposed to be.
Okay, let's harvest from you, politicalplatform@yahoo.com. From there, we are able to see what you think, what you see, what your observations are, and most importantly, what your suggestions are. We always advise that you should write to us, tell us, identify any issue that you want to comment on, but don't end, please, without telling us what you think should be done, so that those who are listening can also harvest from you how we can solve some of the problems you identify. Now, who is talking to us this morning?
Welcome to the mail segment. I am Chidima Enyi.
And I am Ifeanyi Nwobi. Good morning.
Let's begin with this mail from Amechi Obochi in Kubwa, Abuja, reacting to President Buhari's meeting with National Assembly leader, saying, the Senate President, Dr. Bukola Saraki, and the Speaker, House of Representatives, Honorable Yakubu Dogara, yesterday met with President Buhari in Aso Rock Villa to brief him on security and other challenges facing the country presently. A welcome development, but Buhari, Saraki and Dogara must understand that meetings upon meetings and briefings upon briefings without commensurate practical actions will amount to efforts in futility. I therefore urge the trio to put politics, tribe and religion aside and look at the larger Nigeria that is presently sitting on a keg of gunpowder that might explode anytime. Anyway, if we still hope and pray for one Nigeria, we must do the needful, as time and tide waits for nobody.
And then reacting to the alleged killings by herdsmen in the country, Daniel Agada in Abuja starts by saying, like many Nigerians, I have seen in recent times many videos in circulation of the Christian clergy urging Christians and others to take arms and defend themselves against possible attacks by the herdsmen. I would rather refrain from commenting on the legality or propriety of these calls. Our laws are there as our guide. I, however, think that the situation is worsened by the refusal, failure, or neglect of the government to bring the alleged perpetrators of these callous and inhuman acts to book. Inaction and perceived lack of political will to tackle the menace headlong engenders impunity. It emboldens the perpetrators to continue their vicious attacks. The government must not only demonstrate, but must be seen to demonstrate the political will and firm resolve to end these killings. Nigerians need to demand this from the government. Indisputably, it's the government's primary responsibility to ensure the security and welfare of the people, as provided in Section 14, subsection 2b of the 1999 Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, as amended.
And on yesterday's analysis concerning Donald Trump's remark about Africa, Dennis Edechukwu in Garki, Abuja says, President Trump's alleged comments concerning Africa may be too harsh, but I believe it is the obvious truth. We claim to be religious and godly, as Amechi's comments suggest, but we recall the highest avoidable killings. Nigeria not making same-sex marriage legal does not make us holier than the USA, because they obviously value lives more over there. Our true value is in how we value the lives of our fellow citizens and tolerate opposing views. God bless Nigeria.
And on the suspension of Dr. Kaide Fahimi from politics for 10 years, Ibidiran Olaniyi in Abuja says, Governor Ayodele Fayoshe's Judicial Commission of Inquiry to probe Kayode Fayemi's administration, which finally came out with predetermined verdicts on Kayode Fayemi and his Commission of Finance, is barbaric, callous, and terrible in the face of democracy. This is executive recklessness and political rascality taken too far by Fayoshe and his panel. Neither Fayoshe nor Ekiti State government has the powers to bar or prevent Dr. Fayemi or any other citizen from holding public office, but a competent court of law.
That's it for the mail segment. Keep your mails coming. Political platform at yahoo.com.
Yeah, thank you so much. I will always enjoy those your views, deep views, and suggestions on how we can deepen the roots of our young democracy. I agree with you totally that there's hope. Where there's total loss of hope, I mentioned, you know what happens. When you lose everything, you still have hope. Even if you just everything is gone, there's that strand of hope you hold on to that something will be good. And I believe that the youths have a lot of hope for the future.
Even when you're hungry and you're starving for about a week, a human being may not survive for about 10 days without food. But if you have hopes that there's food
coming
at the end of the third week, that will is enough to keep you alive and negate that biological principle that you cannot survive after some time. So hope is quite very important.
Yeah, and well, I believe that the future is very, very bright. It's very easy to be despondent. It's very easy to get frustrated, and you look at everywhere. I've gone around the last night up till around 11. I was in town running around looking at the filling stations. I drove around Abuja to see what the state of the petrol scarcity was. From one place, I was burning my own expensive petrol to take a look at what was happening. Now, the issue of the recurrent challenges that we have, like the petroleum problem, is again a lack of capacity, like I have always said,
and political will.
Yeah, political will to deal with the situation. Now, the funny thing about this petrol scarcity is that nobody blames President Muhammadu Buhari for it. They blame DPR, they blame NNPC. Near him, they end up with Kachuku, the Minister of State for petroleum, and then they say it is the private depot owners. They blame everybody. Everybody is blamed except the Minister for Petroleum and President of Nigeria. Meanwhile, it is the President we should all blame and ask questions. It is him that we should be asked to be sacked as Minister of Petroleum. It is the President that Nigerians should be asking, please sack yourself and give that position to somebody who can run the. If you are not capable of doing it, and it's obvious that our President, as it is now, is not capable to run the Ministry of Petroleum, and we must say it the way it is. And there's no need running around. Nobody blames the President. Well, we just run around. We run around the issues.
Danger of blaming the president. If you're a politician and you have political aspirations, just as with what Sheikh Husani said on the floor of the Senate yesterday, that sometimes when you see the bare truth, accusing his own colleagues in the Senate of not mentioning the name of the president in that report that was submitted yesterday. They were talking about federal government, talking about this, but to him, the responsibility starts and ends with the president, and his name was not mentioned, and he felt it was hypocrisy, that people are afraid. If you criticize the president now,
then you will lose grounds.
Bad books of some people, but of course the man dies in you if you keep silence in such situation. But taking a look at the oil sector, I remember what happened in 2007, just when Olusegun Obasanjo was exiting as president. He hurriedly carried out a sale of our 4 refineries. Dangote was one of those that bought the existing refineries. He was in power for 8 years, and he discovered that maybe, according to him, if you continue to retain government ownership of the refineries, what you do is that you pump in billions and nothing comes out.
It disappears.
Refining capacity utilization will be low, and you continue to pump money. When Yar'Adua came, they promised him, those around him, that what Obasanjo did was just to satisfy a few, that if he gives them the money, they will do turnaround maintenance of the refineries, and they swore with the grave of their great-grandfathers to Yaradua that they will fix the refineries and get them running, and by that way resolve the problem of fuel supply in Nigeria. He listened to them, and the money was doled out. The turnaround maintenance came. At some point, they said we have to go to the original manufacturers, yes. Marubeni Corporation in Japan. At some point, they said no, there's a new technology elsewhere. All this envisaged money being pumped into these refineries, and they have continued
to pump the money.
To pump the money, and they have refused to work. Up till today, the president promised when he was campaigning that part of the reason is that fuel scarcity is that the refineries are not working. That's why we're importing, that it must work. They also promised new refineries. No new refineries.
We're almost 3 years now.
And refineries are not working. We are still importing. So what does it tell about us as a people and as a country, and about a set of people who are serious and want to learn on their mistakes? A fool learns at his own expense. A wise man learns at the expense of others. We have refused to learn at our own expense. It's very clear that refineries will not work as much as they are owned by the government. It's very clear that whatever proposal you have from people to pumping billions into the turnaround, it will not work. It's very clear that even if you build new refineries owned by government, it will not work. Even when refineries owned publicly and by government in other countries are working. Then you now ask yourself, what's the difference with Nigeria? How do we get out of this problem? Are there some people who have vested interest in continued importation of petroleum products, those that get the subsidy, those that make a rent abnormal profit in the process of sale and distribution? We have over centuries, not even years, refused to learn at our own expense.
Of course, you know the answers. You don't even beg. We know the answers, that there are those who are benefiting from but it is the inability of a committed government, a government that came in, rode on the crest of the hope that it provided the people that look, they were going to do things the right way. In fact, the campaign was change. That was what everybody saw, change. And we said change from here. Everybody, keyed into it and chased away an incumbent government that was running and said, look, this man. And when the president came up to say, I'm going to retain the office of the petroleum minister, so many people criticized. But I was one of the persons who said it is apt for him to have, if he can even join defense to it, and be minister of defense and minister of petroleum, because of the kind of the character that we know of the integrity, then we'll have all the solutions. But as we are speaking now, there's no petrol. Now, Dangote is building his own refinery in Lagos, and it will work. By the time he finishes, we would have deregulated properly so that we'll buy petrol at the appropriate price. At the appropriate pricing of petrol is over 400 naira per liter, because if you go to it is about $1.02 in some parts of the West, and if you multiply it by the naira, it will go to around 400. So I think the Dangotes of this world, and those who will eventually, because that's where we are going, like you also recommended, Amechi, those who will eventually take over the petroleum refinery, because we cannot do it, we have to bend backward, swallow our own vomit, and hand over these refineries to those who can appropriately manage it. Nigerians will now know that petrol is 400, is available all over the place. We would have deregulated.
And when the price of crude oil comes down,
it will come down. If the Nigerian people want a subsidy on it, the National Assembly can say, look, we are too poor, we cannot afford it. This is how we are going to do, and we'll do appropriate more, and then we'll know whether there's going to be subsidy to cushion the effects of whatever price it is. But petrol, as it is an international commodity. It is priced in dollars, from all the equipment to even the salaries that are paid in the sector to the product, because it is used everywhere. Of course, we have reminded Amechi, our leaders, particularly the young ones that are coming, the leaders of tomorrow. Some of us are already above 50, so we are just watching. We have lost out, because if we are talking to the elders now, they say we are young. If we go to the younger ones, they say you are old. That's how I decided to leave my white, so that they know that I'm not also young anymore. We have our generation we have all lost out. I fly Ethiopia Air most of the time. Ethiopia Air, as at the time Ethiopia Air was we were competing with Nigeria Airways, we have more aircraft than Ethiopia Airline. Today, they go to everywhere in the world. They have in fact, they have 92. Precisely, they have 92 aircraft. They have 60 that they have booked that will be delivered to them this year. 60 brand new ones. They fly everywhere, and it is 100% owned by the government. That's actually where I'm going to. That in certain areas, government they do the job and they do it well. Why is it that we cannot do anything? If you are flying now, if you are coming from Europe into coming from the US or anywhere into Nigeria, they first of all take you to Addis Ababa. Sometimes they give you
overnight.
Sometimes they give you a bed to sleep overnight. So you take a look at Addis Ababa. You go around in the night. They incorporate tourism in their packages. Sometimes you just wonder what is happening. You actually want to run away from here when you take a look at some of these things. But like I always say, we cannot all run away.
They call for radical reforms, very radical, breaking government hold on some sectors, not just entirely government washing his hands off, but bringing in partnering private sector, ensuring that you don't transfer monopoly from government to private sector, ensuring that you have strong regulatory agencies that can actually get hold of some sectors and ensure level playing field and efficiency, and things will turn out.
We just have to go now because our time is up. We have a lot to talk about in subsequent editions of the program. We will come back tomorrow. But remember our line that we have always given you. Go and participate. Participate in this democratic process. If you cannot join APC, PDP, ABGA, or any of the political parties, go and get your voter card. Let us talk to our brothers. Let us use our platforms to educate Nigerians to get involved. The only way we can have a true change is if all of us get involved. Please do get involved. Okiri Agbosuremi here.